Did you know that we think of money almost more than anything else? And I've often said that money's not everything, it's just somewhere up there with oxygen. Over the years, I've lost count. Seminars, conferences, had hundreds, possibly thousands of people over the years go through my seminars and conferences on the subject of money, thinking like the wealthy people think. Now, I just want to say a few things on this subject. Now, you should all know by now I'm a Christian. If you've been on this page long enough, you'll know. And so I want to dispel a couple of ideas that people have in relation to finances, money. I want to talk to those who are wanting to move forward in business. I also want to talk to the consumer. I have been called numerous times by companies, and the background discussion has been, how can we press the greed button? I don't like that. I don't like that. How can we press the greed button in people? If you allow a company to press the greed button, you'll lose your thinking, right? You'll do things you regret. You don't need that. You've got to keep a sound mind in all these things. If you want it, you need it, go for it. If you can afford it, do it, right? But we don't pay for things with money. Just understand this. We pay for things with time, okay? When you buy the car, might be 5-year loan, you're paying, it's 5 years of your life, right? Might be 3 days of your life, 10 years of your life. You buy the house, 25 to 30 years of your life. You've got to understand that. Apparently today, about 35 to 40% of people will never achieve ownership of their own home. Now, that's serious, and sometimes that's because a person has utilised the equity in their home to go and buy the car. They got the greed button, they were sold into the idea, but now they're paying the car off over a longer period of time. So you need to think those things through, okay? Don't let people press the greed button in your life. Talk about it ahead of time. Know your own mind. You're wanting to go into business perhaps. You've got to start somewhere. And what I suggest to people is go to the horizon of what you know. And then when you get there, you'll see further, okay? Don't have too many committee meetings. They disrupt your train of thinking. I didn't say don't get advice, but committee meetings, particularly when you're starting off, if you're thinking you need a 5-year plan, forget it. 5 years is a long way. And this, when I started off years ago, man, you needed a 2-year plan, 3-year plan. That's forever. These days, technology and everything's moving so fast. I mean, you get a 3-month plan, you're doing well. So, understand me with money, however. When you have all the things that money can't buy, you'll enjoy all the things that money can buy, right? You can buy a pillow, but you can't buy a clear conscience. You can buy a house, but you can't buy a home. And, we're going to understand the things that money can't buy and accumulate those things in our life. People say money doesn't make you happy, probably because they don't have any. I'm sorry to say that. Money helps you do things that you couldn't otherwise do. It doesn't make you happy, but it releases you to do things. Money's a good thing. Now, that's saying that money is the root of all evil. That's not true. If you know scripture, you'll know it says the love of money, the love of riches. That's where that greed button comes into it, all right? You want to get the money into the account. You can't be a giver unless you got it, right? You got to get it in. If you're in business, I was doing a conference once and I asked these business people, why are you in business? And I had 3 or 4 people raise their hand and say, I want to give money away, I want to do this, I want to help a charity, I want to build an orphanage, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, that's all really good, but you didn't answer the question. I said, what do you mean? I said, why are you in business? You're in business to make money. Now, what you do after that, that's entirely up to you. But you've got to think like the wealthy people think. They think differently, you see. They have a way of thinking where they get a plan, they execute it, they're considering, they get a good administrator, a good bookkeeper, somebody that keeps them straight along the way. That's important. And, you're thinking forward. Also, if you're going into business, does the consumer need what you're talking about or what you're wanting to sell? Consider the need for it. As you progress forward, don't let money control you. Understand this, you don't have a money problem, you have an ideas problem. I said that in a group once and they went, oh, okay. It's true. They were talking to me about their problems. Well, yeah, you don't have a money problem, you've got an ideas problem. Today in Australia, about 5% of people are going to arrive financially secure at retirement. That's a hopeless situation. In a country that's so wealthy, with so much money running through, we don't pay for things with money, we pay for things with time. Be aware of that, right? If you've got an idea, then start to move on it. I mean, some ideas are just bad, right? You need a couple of people that you trust and you love. Run it past them, right? If you trust them. And, just see, get their reaction, get their feel. But don't have too many committee meetings because it'll stifle you. You don't want people to throw water over your fire. Go to the horizon of what you know. And then when you get there, you'll see further. Don't treat an idea like a sacred cow. If it's a bad idea, toss it out and get another one. Right? Pray about it, think about it. Some people think Jesus was poor. I'm talking to people that are Christians right now. Jesus wasn't poor. Just know that. In fact, they cast lots. They gambled over his tunic, his robe that he wore. If you know anything about his role with the disciples, it was his job to look after them. It was their job to follow him. It was his job to feed them and to look after them. What do you think happened with all the silver, the gold, and the myrrh? They were supporters of his ministry. The fact is, Jesus had plenty of money. But the difference is, does the money own you? And of course, he had a lot to do with that. I mean, he had to support 12 men and no doubt their families. So, Jesus was running a reasonable sized ministry when you think it through. And he did that for 3 and a bit years. I encourage you to perhaps rewind this and have another listen. I have been a bit random, haven't I? Gone sort of all over the place. Money, money, money. Who owns you? Does the money own you, or do you own the money? Really, it's not the money, it's the ideas. Remember, you don't pay for things with money, you pay for things with time. Count your time. Right? If it's $100, somebody's earning, I don't know, $25 an hour and it costs them $100, that's 4 hours of his life that he's gone and spent. Think those things through. Think like the wealthy people think. And start to move forward with those great ideas that you've got. Okay, now God bless you. Have a good week.